This is an explanation to Northumbria Police and the community covered by Northumbria Police regarding my formal complaint, reference number 263/19, for the reasons I'm withdrawing and dropping my complaint. The original complaint was based on a lack of the presumption of innocence applied to one of the 15-year-olds in my village. And I complained because that violated the police oath. And I made the complaint in as conciliatory as possible. I included supporting evidence, and I was more than willing to help them understand what the problem was. The reason I'm dropping it, however, is that having now followed through the procedures to the stage that they're at now, whilst I'm more than happy with the response at grassroots level from the police that deal with our community and their immediate supervisors, the moment I hit the senior level, I began experiencing very serious problems. Firstly, there's a procedural fail. The procedures are not fair. They're designed more to protect the police than they are to actually investigate complaints, in my opinion. They don't provide for a fair hearing, and they don't engage or relate to the complainant, in my opinion. That's not my experience of dealing with the system that they use. And this includes all the senior officers up to Chief Constable that I've had to deal with. The level of institutionalised defensiveness, which I think is gender-based, is more than I can cope with. I think it's more than anyone can cope with. It's a system that's designed by men for men. So God help you if you're a woman. There's a gender-based problem in terms of communication. It's not possible for women or girls to communicate our experience of their behaviour without them getting defensive. And it got to the point where eventually I was saying to the Chief Constable, you don't see me as human. And if you don't see me as human, you're violating your police oath. Because the police oath, if you check it, includes the Human Rights Act. And in failing to comply with that aspect of the police oath, it enables the kind of social prejudice that I was complaining about. The social prejudice in this case was gender-based, but it was also based on the kind of social prejudice that has been used over the past 10 years in our country, that picks on poor people and tells us that we're the fault for everything that's wrong with the country and there's nothing good about us. And when you treat a 15-year-old as if she's an offender, before she's even got a criminal record, there's a real problem. I can't deal with privileged white men in powerful social positions using their defensive methods. You can't get through to them. I've tried. I've spent a lifetime trying to talk to men who are, in positions of power, and all that happens is that they get shirty, and if they're particularly unpleasant, they get nasty. And I don't see that there's any benefit to me, to the 15-year-old, or to my community in pursuing this complaint. However, I haven't changed my opinion. All I'm doing is dropping the complaint, because I don't see any point in pursuing it. It's going to fail. It's designed to fail for people like me. And because of that, I think, especially over the last 10 years, it points to the possibility that chief constables and senior officers have been violating their police oath by obeying or issuing unlawful orders from a government and ministers who are unable to comply with the law themselves. The problem here is that the Human Rights Act includes case law that says you obey lawful orders, but you don't obey unlawful orders. And I think what's been going on in the police in this instance, but actually much wider in the country, is that our public services have been routinely obeying unlawful orders, which is why we're in the mess that we're in now. And this, in police terms, both violates the police oath and the contract of employment. That I was told by one senior officer within Northumbria Police that they comply with the law is factually untrue. I don't believe that you do. I think you do, but you're not willing to look at the possibility that you might not be. And because you're not willing to look at it, there's no point in talking to you anymore. And I'm certainly not interested in engaging with privileged, defensive white men who are more interested in holding on to their power and position than they are in actually serving the community that they're supposed to be serving, in this case, Northumbria. So I'm making this video so that people know why, so the police know why. There's no point in taking it any further. It would hurt. I think it would do more damage than it would do any good. But I do think the community needs to know about it, which is why I'm making a video and posting it to YouTube. And to the police, I'm dropping my complaint, I'm withdrawing it completely, and you've won. And well done. You've won over a powerless, penniless, dehumanized woman. I hope you enjoy your victory.